So any question then? So that's what you're saying. I can ask you anything.
Yeah.
Really?
With it, keep it PG, and you're all good.
Oh, come on! This podcast's it's not supposed to be PG. Have you got your bosses listening in? Is that why?
Probably. Nah, I don't know. You gotta do whatever. I don't mind. Ask away.
All right. Don't know. I think I'll try and think of one by the end of the show, and you've got to come up with a punchy return, just like as I kept calling him last week, by the way, Postecoglou. I kept calling him Poch, and thanks a lot. You never corrected me. You just stood by and just said, "Yeah, okay. just let him continue calling our new boss Poch, because that's all he's got on his mind." That Chelsea fuck. Right, so it's not PG anymore. So I just use the F word. So
of course,
there you go. Right, we are going to make mistakes, by the way. It's a brand new pod. I mean, I've done loads, but it's new. And I looking at the stats, we actually had nearly 100 people listen to it. It's not bad. Well,
that's decent.
It's not bad, right? I know, not bad at all.
Good start.
All right, so let's get straight into it. Did you watch the Postecoglou press conference? Not the Poch one. We don't want to talk about him anymore. Did you watch Ange? I'll just call him Angelo. Angelo's press conference.
Ange's press conference. Yeah, I did. And do you know what? Like, with the Poch, see, you started that. With the Postecoglou press, do you know what? He makes you want to believe a bit more at Tottenham now. I think it's a great. I think he speaks really well. I like his humour. He's someone you can warm to. I don't know. I'd love to get your thoughts on it, because listening to him was brilliant. I genuinely enjoyed it. I thought, do you know what? He comes across like a decent bloke, and he doesn't come across like a manager that is here to do us a favour. It feels like he's here because he's earned his way here, and he's got here. And for me, I like that the most. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. When you go in and you meet a new team, I don't know. Are you in a managerial role or?
Me? Nah, I'm not. No.
Right. Okay. So when you do get there, one of the things you have to do is watch the press conference again, because what he's done is public speaking to your team for the first time. I know that the journos aren't his team, right? I understand that. But what he did straight away was set the setting. Should we edit that bit out? No. So what he did, he set the scene, right? And he had them eating out of the palm of his hand. He knew what type of questions they were going to ask him. And you can see that this is in his first rodeo, right? He's done this countless times before. Like that thing that he did with Kane, where he mentioned that, look, it's the third question, and we had a sort of poll going to see, yeah, exactly, right. And that's what he did. And if you are to believe what everyone says that's sort of associated with the club, I'm talking about Alistair Gold and other people, where they talk to even the tea lady, and everyone says the buzz around the place now that he's in with his new coaching team is outstanding. So he's already got the players on board. But then what he did, and not just the players and the staff and everyone else that's at Hotspur Way and wherever they do their business, I'm sure it's at Hotspur Way. But then what he did, and he had to get the media on board, and he did that straight away. He had them laughing out loud twice, if you noticed.
Yep.
And I think that definitely he's the type of guy that you can have a beer with, but I also think that he can set up a team to win as well. It's quite rare to have those two things. I mean, normally you have, like Harry, bless him, he was great, but was he a tactical genius? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. But I tell you what, you would love to have a beer with him.
Yeah, I agree.
With Ange, I think that we get best of both worlds, and so do the players. And imagine having an environment where things aren't so systematic. Because under Conte, everything was to a system. Like you had to come in at a certain time. You had to be outside at a certain time. This is just going on reports that I've heard. Then you got into your certain groups and you did these drills that were pre-programmed, and you were getting bored of them. But this guy comes in with this whole fresh approach, and he tells them, "Listen, we're going to win if we do it this way." Then he makes them laugh, and he gets them on board.
Yep.
So that's a win-win in my book. You know, I mean, it's I was super buzzing after watching that, and then I sort of heard another 10 podcasts about ticket pricing and the PR disaster that is our club, and blah blah blah. Yeah. I think we're going to get into that a bit later on, right? But
of course.
Anything else you want to add about the press conference?
No, I as I said to you, I just think it was, you couldn't ask for a better press conference. I think it was just what you wanted to hear. It as you say, got everyone on side. And listen, I think he's the right man for the job. I said this after a few weeks. I've done a bit of research, and I think it's I just think it's the right thing for us at the moment.
Yeah, I can't wait for the season to start, mate.
Agreed.
So it's not long now. I think that the rest of the players come in today or tomorrow? 12th, I think? Tomorrow, right?
The rest of the international lot come in tomorrow.
Right, apart from something I did read, it's not on the running order, but Højbjerg. Is that... I mean, should we read anything into that? I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't, no.
So his agent basically came out, and this is through some third parties. I haven't read direct quotes. Okay, I'm not some ITK, but apparently his agent has said he's not returning, and find him a new club.
Well, I mean, if that's very much clear as day. I think it tells you about the reports. Obviously, he's been linked with Atletico Madrid heavily. I'll be honest. I'm very much in the spec of I think he's not good enough. I don't think he's a great player. I think, yes, he works hard in air quotes, but I mean, apart from that, what does he do apart from point and shout? Like, let's be frank and honest. I think we need better midfielders. Thank you for the service, but if you can get 30 million quid for him, so be it. I think that's good business to get rid of. Listen, if he wants out, then I want him out in that sense, because I just think we need much better midfielders than him.
It's not just. I don't think that it's up to Højbjerg anymore, because if you read about Ange's career and the way he's gone about things, it's all about the team, and it's all about people pulling in the same direction. And when he went into, it was either Melbourne or Brisbane Roar, where they had the three biggest players in the Australian League, in the A-League there, and they turned their nose up at him, and he didn't allow them to train, and he got rid of them straight away, and they went on to win the league. Yeah. And so I think that, well, thanks a lot, Højbjerg's agent and Pierre-Emile, well done, great name. You're off. See you later. You can wave your hands and shout about in the centre circle another club, not ours, because I've really got a feeling that this guy is here to set up this project, and he sort of said it right in the conference where he said that he loves to build things, he loves to create and get things going. And by the way, that's what I love to do as well. Like whenever I'm setting up a new team, I mean, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do was recruit. I don't know anyone who owns a business or is in recruitment. It is really one of the hardest things. Forget CVs, I toss them out the window. It's really about the first 5 minutes of speaking to someone that you get to see their drive and desire. Obviously, they're going to try and say all the right things in an interview, but it's then on day one to see, do they turn up early? How committed are they? And this guy is, if reports are to be believed, has done none of that. So,
no, agreed.
On your way.
No, agreed.
Right, so I've got a question for you.
Go for it.
At the end of last season, we conceded, how many goals was it? Do you remember?
63 goals.
63 goals. So do you think that if we conceded 63 goals, that means that we should go out and buy, and I'm happy we did, an attacking midfielder, a sort of winger who cuts in, and 0 defenders? Mate, where the fuck are our defenders? What's going on?
I think it's a great point, and I made a massive rant about this the other day about the defenders, and then ironically, 24 hours later, Adil was very, very close with Mickey van der Ven. So
hasn't it been close since the last time we were talking 2 weeks ago?
No, because I think there was personal terms agreed, but that is the first point of that's always the first part of it. It looks like a deal has been agreed with the two clubs, relatively close to it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm at that stage. Listen, let's see what happens in the next couple of days. The next couple of days is crucial because I said all along, and I was on my show earlier with Savra earlier on my YouTube show with him, on his, sorry, and I said, do you know what's more crucial? Less of the footballing side of it. I think it's more the personal side. You want to get the likes of Van der Ven on the plane. Not necessarily that he'll be playing against West Ham, because you could easily sign a player after the others have flown and then fly them out themselves. But you want them to integrate with the team. I think that's so crucial. I think it's about getting a player as part of the team. I think signing Solomon today, good business, but I think at the moment we need centre halves. I've said all along. I said on the show 2 weeks ago, we need 3. My concern is it's got to be 2 and one other. The one other is going to be the question mark. Who is that going to be? But I think Van der Ven and Tatsoba are so important. We have to get those done very quickly.
Yeah, I still don't know where they are. Right, so I'll just continue on what you were saying. Right, so we have a player who comes into a new team and he gets to know his teammates and what have you. Right, if we're going after 2 players who haven't lived in this country, we're talking about 2 human beings. Let's put the footballing side. Let's throw it into the corner, right? We're talking about 2 human beings who have to figure out where they're going to live, try and get to know the people, the culture, and all of this jazz, and then try and put their best foot forward to try and improve the team. And this is why I sort of, like, right now I'm face palming, mate. I'm doing the Jean-Luc Picard thing because I don't get it. I missed out Vicario, by the way, when I talked about the signings, but I don't get it. It was the one position that was screaming out at us. Go and get these done. Sure, if you're going to go and get the other 3 players in, and you want to count Porro and Kulusevski as the other 2, fine. You know, that's all well and good. And I think maybe they had to go and get them done because the ticketing thing that was coming, or maybe there was an angle for that. But guys, come on, we've got the money. In fact, I'll ask you this question. Do you know where Tottenham Hotspur, the team from North London, are in the sporting franchise or entity list that Forbes have put together in the world with regards to generating revenue?
That's the thing. Great question. I know we're up there, but a lot
Third.
of it's on EBIT.
Third.
Yeah, but isn't that on EBITDA though? If we're going to debate this, let's debate it properly. EBITDA is not profit. EBITDA is.
I didn't say profit. It's revenue.
No, I agree. By the way, on that side of things,
can you explain what EBITDA is to idiots like me?
Oh, so I can't.
You're in finance. Come on, spill the beans.
You've put me on the spot. So
well, you did say EBITDA. I want to know what it is now.
Yeah, no, but I can't remember. Basically, it's done on profit margin and all that lot, and it's very technical. I don't really want to go into it, but it's not the same as profit in a sense, because I think people, it's earnings before.
Is it before tax? It's probably earnings before tax and expenses, right?
Yeah, basically, it's all that. Yeah, basically.
Right. So,
but.
EBITDA, ladies and gentlemen, we've learnt a new word. Write in and let us know what it means.
It's not a word. It's a
acronym.
An acronym. That's the one.
Right. Perchy's struggling to explain it, even though he is in finance. So please write into @HotspurWay on Twitter. Maybe you can set up the Threads account, because in Cyprus and in Lebanon, for some reason, I can't seem to set it up because terms and conditions are too difficult.
But then I get it in Spain, so
that's weird.
I heard it's not in Europe, but then I've got it in Spain. So
right, so it will be probably @HotspurWay or Hotspur Way Show on Threads when we get it. But The point is that we are third and we have money. I understand the profits, right? I understand. So for all people like me who don't understand, if you make £100 in one day, but you've had to spend 50, your profit is 50, right? It's not £100.
Yeah.
Right.
In layman's terms, yeah.
Right. Okay. We can right now go out and spend money. Now, I'll explain what I mean by that. I'm not some sort of football manager idiot who just goes, I'm going to go into cheat mode and I want my chairman to do this and that because I'm pretending to be other clubs and signing duff players for millions. I'm not going to do that. But you know what? There comes a time when we need to speculate, and it's not happening. And it needs to happen, and I don't get why it's not happening. And then on top of all of that, they put the prices up, the ticket prices.
Don't start about the pricing. I've said a lot about the pricing, and that was I think that was one of the most disgusting things I've seen from this football club in a long time. When we're in a situation right now that we are in society, to then put the prices up to a point where you're talking about £130 for the most expensive Category A ticket. No person should be paying £130 to sit in a seat to watch your team play football. I don't care who anyone is in that side of things. I think it was unacceptable. I mean, and when people justify it, but everything's going up in society. Let's not be honest. It's not like our seat tickets were being charged at 20 quid and they've put them up to 45, or our tickets were 20 quid and they put them up by 5%. Some tickets have gone up by 20%. But the biggest thing is here, and I say this all along, can't moan about it if you're going to go there every week. I'm very much in that boat. Nothing changes if people are going to buy tickets and go there every week. You can't sit there and complain about being charged the absolute wad that they're charging.
I know that we can't, right? But it's a bit. I think it's a bit easier for me and you. We don't live in the UK anymore, right? I was planning to go maybe 4 times. I'm still might be able to go to the United one. I'm still going to pay it, all right? Because I have to. I want to see my team.
Yeah, I get that.
I've talked about Ange Postecoglou until I'm blue in the face. I want to go and see what he's all about. And I need to go and see my team. Do you know what I mean? And I just, what I don't get is people who, well, I'll start again. What I don't get is this. Now, picture this scenario. Now, I need to give you some context to this. I have worked on a project where Donna-Maria Cullen, she's on the board of Tottenham Hotspur. She's a great marketeer, mainly a PR specialist. She is very, very good. I've never said this before. I haven't actually met her, but we've been on a project management tool and we've had sprints together. We've done this was over 10 years ago. Okay, she's great at what she does. And what I can't imagine, or what I think actually has happened, but I hope it hasn't, is Daniel's come in. He goes, guys, listen, well, Donna, what's the PR sentiment like around our club? Just for those of you who don't know, PR sentiment is, in PR, we can measure how well our company is doing in regards to, or brand is doing in regards to, people's views, potential customers, potential partners, or even clients' views, right? And they measure that via a whole host of things such as social media and various other PR and brand recognition tools. And she says, you know what, Daniel? This isn't her voice. It's really high at the moment. Why don't we just turn it down a little bit, Donna? Well, Daniel, what do you mean? Well, I think that we can make 0.3 of our revenue back by charging all the One Hotspur members and anyone else who wants to come along. And by the way, the members, Donna, remember, they've already paid because we never told them we're going to do this. Daniel, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're doing what? I think that we should raise the goddamn... Sorry, that's me tapping the desk. I can't picture Daniel doing that. The goddamn pricing on match day by an X% so we can fill in a hole of 0.3% of our revenue. there is no way that Donna-Maria turned around and said, you know what, Daniel, that's a great idea, because my job in trying to raise PR sentiment for this company is going to be made a whole lot easier. She must have argued with him, and boy, does she argue when she wants to, by the way.
Yeah.
And she's a great critical thinker. Donna, if you are listening to this, if you do become the 101th person to listen to this, it's James. You surely remember me from Butterfly. Get in touch. And so there is no way that she allowed that, which then leads to my thinking that it's a one-man show. Or it's a two-man show, and one of them we never hear from because he's in the Bahamas or in Patagonia or Barbados.
Yeah.
And that's worrying, mate. It's so worrying. Because that conversation must have happened. He didn't just one day, he didn't go down to Sarah at ticketing and go, Sarah, listen, can you show me that Excel spreadsheet with the pricing? Yeah. You see that number? Can you increase it by 20% here, 28% there, and 26% there? Yep, sure, Daniel. And she did it, and she pressed save, and it was locked into the CRM. It doesn't work like that. So what happened, mate? You tell me what happened.
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I just have. I think that it's him, and I think the other people who were there were pawns. And I'm sorry, Donna, that if you've heard me say that, but come and correct me, because I know how good you are. So come and correct me when I say that you're a pawn, because I don't understand how that happened. And what Donna is fantastic at is leaks. So, for instance, over the last month or so, we've had a lot of the press say Spurs we hear from the club, interested in such and such player. But the thing is, they've all used the same sentence. We understand this, and then they mention, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a sentence or two. And in PR, what you do is you leak certain information, and you do tell them, please use this line within your copy. And so it's clear that they have been leaking this to raise sentiment. Mm-hmm. So
makes sense.
I don't quite understand how he's then gone and done this. Like, right now she must be going, I don't know how to raise this now, because right now the only thing that can satisfy everyone is a signing. Don't worry, Donna. We've got an Israeli international joining us for free. I don't think that's going to cut it, Daniel. No, you watch. You watch what happens when we launch. Daniel, I really don't think I've had 18 years experience in this, Daniel. No, I don't think it's going to cut it. I think you need to maybe do something else. No. You'll see, it's all going to be fine. And don't worry about it, because most of the people who buy the shirts anyway, as you've seen from the overseas sales, are from overseas. So that's what we really care about. And that is brand management and an absolute PR disaster.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree with you. I just think just to sort of touch on that as well, I just think at the moment we're at a stage where the mismanagement at the moment is all over the place. I think I take everything you say at face value. You're not making it up, are you? Let's be honest.
Well, I made up the whole conversation with Levy, but I think something like that must have happened.
What I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
hypotheticals we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I just think at the moment now we need a lot. We're crying out for a lot. I just hope we get there somehow. Like, listen, I think it's easy to go on about it, and I think more than anything now we need centre halves. I think we're crying out for two centre backs. I think we take it away from the business side and take it back to just the footballing side. I'm just at that point where we need centre halves in.
Yeah. And what do you make of Van der Ven? By the way, before I ask you that question, I did see, and I actually even had conversations with people on a WhatsApp group that I'm on. Bunch of people in Cyprus and a few in the UK, where they said, "Is Van der Ven Postecoglou signing?" And all I said to him was, "Well, he must be." And then I saw the tweet from you, and tell us about the tweet.
Yeah, no. So it was just someone else that put it out there. I kind of recycled it, but yeah, it was quite good to go and share it out. Was that yeah, it was heavily linked with Celtic about a year ago. So about maybe 6 months ago, actually, maybe more, maybe about no, it was a year and about 18 months ago. It was linked.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
both,
2021, I think, wasn't it?
yeah, 2022, I think
All
actually.
right.
I think yeah, it was linked. It was linked January 2022 into Celtic, which tells me that you don't just. I don't sit there and believe that. I think there's got to be reason about it. The manager obviously wants this guy in. He looks like a tidy football player. I like him. Listen, a lot of people want Tapsoba over this guy. I said no. I think this guy would be the perfect fit for us at the moment. He's got good recovery speed. He's a big lad, and he's captain of the under-21s Dutch side. I think that's so important. We don't have leaders at this football club. We're crying out for a leader, and this guy may not be the full deal as a leader, but it's at least it's a step towards the right place.
Definitely, but I'll have to pull you up. I think that Edmund Tapsoba, if you take a look at some of his stats, they're off the charts. I know that you can't always replicate. I know that you can't always replicate stats because they are on paper or digital, and what happens when you go to a new league and blah 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 and all of that jazz, right? We understand that, but why can't we get both?
No. Sorry, say. The caveat is I want to see both those at Spurs. I think we need two defenders. I don't want Longley. I will stand up and say I don't. I would rather Eric Dyer stay for one more year than we sign Clement Longley on a 3-year contract. I think it negates the problem. I think you get Longley in, you've already signed him, and you're already thinking about how do we get rid of him. I just don't want to be in that position. So I think I'd rather us keep Eric Dyer for 1 year and then release him at the end of his contract than have Longley in, and then looking next summer to go and get a third centre half in. I'd happily do that. I mean, outgoings is such an important one. It looks like Sanchez is going, but yeah, no, for me, the point mainly is we've got to get both. I think that's so crucial.
Yeah, and the problem is that I think we will get Longley in, and I the other day I had a bit of an argument with someone on Twitter, surprise surprise, where they said their argument was that you can bring him in maybe even on a free, and it doesn't matter that his salary is going to be 300k a week. And I said to him, you must play a lot of Football Manager, because if I've really progressed and I've been at Spurs for a while and I'm on 150, and then this guy who came in didn't do much better than me and is on double my salary, and they said no, but we can flip him, like we can sell him quickly.
No, it doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't work like that. Barcelona are really trying. You know, they've sold him quickly, haven't they? They've been trying to sell him for 2 years. You can't get rid of him, and it's not just that. Most players, and this is directly from Football Manager, when they come in, they normally get a signing on fee. So we'll get a signing on fee, and that's normally passed against his salary, right? So we'll get a signing on fee. He'll get a huge salary, and he'll want a 5-year deal. And then we want to sell him after a year or two because, you know, people on Twitter say we should flip him, and so that's how business should be run. And no one will buy him. And then what do? 30 million.
You sit there and then having to figure out how to get rid of a player. That's why I said in my lot, and then I got shut down for it when people go, you want Eric Dyer to say, and I said no, but in context, I'd rather we keep Eric Dyer for 1 more year. If we're to sign 2 defenders in this window, him be the 4th choice, and then in the summer of next, we go, do you know what? He's going out on a free. The rest of these are going out on frees. We're releasing them. Now we go in and buy a 4th centre half that we've scouted for 12 months properly, like proper football teams do. Scout for 12 months, and then go and get the next man in and improve our defence that way. Listen, I've said all along, I think the Postecoglou situation isn't one that's going to take a window to do. It's not going to take 2. It could take 4, maybe even 5 windows to completely fix the problems we have at this football club. Systematically, problems everywhere. On mismanagement, on terrible signings that we can't get rid of, players that are on 100 to 200 grand a week that we just can't get rid of at the moment. You can't even get rid of them. You can't give them away for free. And I think that's the key problem we've got at the moment.
Exactly. But I said 30 million. I meant to say 18. Imagine so Longley on a 5-year deal, 18 million. All right, let's just say 16 million because he doesn't earn 300k a week. He's not going anywhere.
No,
I've got 16 million due to me. We're seeing this with Ndombele. We're seeing it with Lo Celso. You know, they're not going to go anywhere. Why would you? I wouldn't. You know, they don't have the same affinity that we have with the club. They don't care. No. They've got a short career, and that's it. You know, it's out. They're out for themselves. So he's not going to go anywhere. So let's stop this Longley thing. But I've got a feeling that we're going to get him and Tosin. Tosin, actually, I don't mind. I'm not an expert on him, but I've seen him play twice, and he looked all right. He did, and I actually did think the last time I saw him, he's actually all right. I'll take a look at this guy, and then when we were linked, I thought, great, that looks good. But we really should be pushing the boat out and getting these players in, and now, you know, not waiting until the team are off in Australia. Yep. We're going to Australia, and where else? We're going to the Far East, I think.
No, I think we're going to Southeast Asia. So I think we're going to Singapore after Australia. I could be wrong, but...
All right, okay.
I think it's definitely mainly in Australia, I believe.
We need them there. We need them bonding, you know? We need them bonding there. By the way, there's another thing something you said, again, I'll take you up on this. I don't believe that any club, and I mean any club unless they've lost all their players, needs 5 or 6 windows to fix problems. I'll explain what I mean by this. I believe that every transfer window is an incremental stage in making, or should be there to make your team better. I think that within, let's say, 2 or 3 windows, seeing as how Postecoglou has worked in the past, he will get out most of the deadwood, whether the players want to go or not. Okay, he will treat them in such a way where he'll turn into thunder. Forget the lovely guy that we're seeing in the press conferences. He won't be like that. And so they will leave. And the worst thing about it is having players who don't want to be there, and then you've got a team that's winning and you're missing out on that. They're professionals, right? They want to be part of that. So I think that it will be 2 or 3 windows, and then what will happen is we have to speculate to incrementally add value to the squad so we can get better season in, season out. Because if it's going to take 5 windows, mate, 5 windows is what, 2.5 seasons?
2.5, yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 seasons. No, I don't think he's ever spent longer than 2.5 seasons anywhere. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I was being more facetious when I said that, but I mean I mean it more in the sense of it's not going to be one that gets done overnight. Like, it's going to take a while. The way we operate as a football club, we're not Chelsea. We don't operate like Chelsea, because Chelsea go, do you know what? We're going to bin 6 or 7 of you now. We don't do that. The problem is we can't get rid of these players, and I think that's the key bit. When I say 4 or 5 windows, a lot of these might have to stay until their contracts are done, or we go and pay a chunk of money to get rid of them. And it's such a hard fine line. I think I made a point about this earlier today, and I said the only thing what I do think could happen is you might see contracts torn up nearer the end of the window. Last day of the window, we can't get rid of an Ndombele or Lo Celso or Tanganga or whoever. I mean, insert whatever bit of dross we have. I mean, there's enough of it. And then that's when it gets chopped up, because it's like, well, we tried to sell, we can't get rid of them. We want them off the wage bill. We've got to pay it off now.
Yeah.
And I think you might end up getting to a situation where it is like that. Yeah, it's tough. But listen, we're a football club that needs to actually start acting like a football club. We need to. We're crying out to act. We're crying out to act like a football club, because we're just going to keep sinking otherwise. And listen, I think we're at a stage now where we're starting to see a little bit of it happening. Not always. We're still way behind the curve of what we need to be doing, but we're starting to see it. We're getting semi-okay, decent business happening. Semi-decent business.
Yeah, look, had Maddison signed when we last did the show? I don't think so, right? I think Vicario had.
Vicario signed the day we did the stream, so yeah.
Yeah, it was happening right live, wasn't it? That was good. So, what do you think of Maddison? Spend a minute or two.
Oh, I think it's one of the best signings going at the moment. I think we've got a creative midfielder we cry out for. good value, good business. Can't really go against it. I don't think it's someone we should have signed years ago. We should have signed him years ago when he was at Norwich and Coventry. We've been linked with him for about 7 years now. Finally got him. But yeah, I think it's good business. It's business that should have happened a long time ago, but at least it's done now.
Yeah, I think that what he'll do, he'll slot into the one of the 2 number 8 roles that Postecoglou. You fall over?
No, bang the window.
Oh, fair enough. Weird man bangs window in Barcelona. Yes. So I do think that he'll fit into one of the 8 slots. That's if we play that way. And it's quite interesting that Postecoglou did say that, it's not always set in stone the way he plays. If he is to use the same sort of system as he did at Celtic, then what happens with Maddison is once we're in a defensive position, you'll see that Kane will remain up top with Maddison. Well, basically, it becomes a sort of 4-4-2. So you'll have Maddison and Kane up top. And then what will happen is as soon as the break comes on Maddison, slightly he comes a bit deeper. And once one of the triangles, it's normally 3 triangles they try to play down the wings and one in the centre. So when that happens, then he will be involved with the other number 8 who's near him, who I don't know who it's going to be. Most probably, I don't know if it's going to be Bissouma, because Bissouma, I think, will be our player of the season at number 6. I'll talk about him in a bit.
He'll be 6?
Yeah.
I think you'll put Bissouma as a 6.
Well, I'll tell you why. Shall I tell you why? Well, no, you tell me why, and then I'll counter it.
I think he can play there, but I don't think he's going to be the best player there. I think you kind of need Bissouma to be that sort of box to box. He's got a proper engine on him.
Right. Okay. So that's.
I think he might end up being the 6 as a temporary basis until we sign someone.
Right. So the second number 8 does become the box to box midfielder. There, he needs to have a much bigger engine than his counterpart number 8, because what he does is he'll pick up the ball from the 6. The 6 normally what he'll do is he's a Modric type of player, and he'll play the ball quickly. A triangle is formed. The first number 8 will then pick it up, pass it to the wing, and then comes in the second number 8, who then forms the triangle with either the striker and the winger on either side. And then what will happen is once the ball has been played forward, he will then push forward, and then what will happen is the box-to-box number 8 will then push right up to pick up any loose balls and press. And so that's how Postecoglou has been playing. I'll tell you about Bissouma. When I see Bissouma, I see a player who, before he receives the ball, knows exactly what he's going to do with it. I don't know if you saw that in glimpses towards the end of last year. He knows what he's going to do with the ball. He can read the game. His vision is fantastic. And for me, that is a number 6, because he's going to pick up the ball and the way Postecoglou likes to have it is one of the defenders comes out of the back 4 with the ball, Van der Ven, because that's what he loves to do, and gives it to the 6, who immediately turns around the play and will either play it out to one of the wingers or one of the number 8s, or a ball over the top. And I can see Bissouma doing that. Because if you notice, he always wanted the ball as well. If you always looked at him, right, he's always got his hands down by his side, and he's, that gesture where your fingers flip up and you're saying, right, give it to me. That's what he was doing continuously towards the end of the last season. And I thought, wow, if you continue on from here, and he looks like he's hit the ground running. You saw him when he, all the body language experts came out of the woodwork when the guy set up on the first day of training. But he looked really up for it. Really, really up for it. And you might be right. He might be the box-to-box number 8, but then again, who comes in as the 6, as the player who takes the ball from the pressing centre half that we're going to have, that pushes up, takes the ball from him, and quickly either a short pass or a mid-range pass to either a winger or the 2 number 8s, or 1 in 7, it's normally like that under Postecoglou, to the striker. Who does that in our team right now? You're going to say Skip? Who have we got? We've got Skip.
What, in midfield at the moment? What?
Yeah, because Bentancur's Yeah, I mean, he's not. Yeah, he's not going to travel. He could do it, by the way. He could definitely do the number 6.
That's what I mean. Bentancur would be your guy, but not at the moment whilst he's out. I mean, he won't be playing until probably December. So I mean, you'll be very hard on getting him in anytime soon. Who do I see doing it at the moment? It's a great question, actually. I think you could see Bissouma being able to do it at the moment. I think he would be your guy right now that can do that role. I think it's interesting to see though, because I think we've got I think we may need to go and buy someone. One player that might be able to do it is Pape Sarr. I think Sarr, I like him.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think he's a good player, and I think he's one of those players that I look at and go, I just think he needs a chance. And I think Postecoglou could be that man that gives him a chance. I liked him. I thought when I saw him play, I went, do you know what? This is a lad that can play. He just needs the opportunity, and we need to give him that. And I think personally,
I agree with you. I think that with Sarr, he either becomes, let's say, a first 11 rotational player, so he's playing once every 3 games or something, including the cups, or we're going to have to loan him out. But not, I mean, to a team in England, please, ideally the Premier League. Like send him up to Luton. Can you imagine him in Luton's midfield?
Yeah.
I have no idea about Luton, by the way.
I just still think he could do a job here with us. I think we need engines, and from what I've seen on him, he's got an engine about him. This lad, he's not the finished article. Before anyone thinks that's what we're trying to say here, he's not. He's gonna be a lad he is raw. He is, but isn't that what we've been crying out for? Just a player that, like, to just sort of get behind. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
I think we miss that at the moment. There isn't really many players out there at the moment that we go, oh, do you know what? We just get behind him. Like, and he's decent. I think he's a decent player that works hard, and I think we'll be mad to let him go out on loan. I think he can be one of those that he might be one of those players that, do you know what, stands out in this system. I say it. He might be one of those players that is the one that just stands out in this system.
Are you gonna stand on the hill and say,
no,
I'm dying on this hill?
I'll die on the hill for him. I think he's the right player for us at the moment. I like players like Sarr. Works hard. Yeah, not the finished article at all, but he's hard. He's an hard worker, and I think we're just crying out for hard-working players, and he is one of them.
I don't think he's just hard-working, though. I think that he's a mini Bissouma. I don't know if you noticed that he's young, right? So he doesn't have that experience where he's always calling for the ball. Maybe he was a bit shy, but he also knew where to play the ball, especially in that Milan game. He knew where to play the ball before he got it. And that was interesting. Now, talking about sending out people on loan, Ndombele, what do you think is going to happen?
What do I think is going to happen? What do I want happens are two different things.
Well, based on what Postecoglou said about him, because he did leave a little hint, if you remember what he said.
Yeah.
Where it's down to him, really. Do you know what I mean? Where he said that, and that to me was, and it was sort of the only player that he said that about.
Yeah.
I know it was a direct question, but
he worries me that he is going to be at this club next season. I'll be honest, I don't care for him. I don't want him here. I just think I've seen enough of this player to go, do you know what? He hasn't got it about him. And listen, I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love to come back to this and listen back to this in 6 to 7 months' time and go, wow, what a player we've got. I'd happily be wrong. I don't think I am wrong. I think he's a player that thinks he's better than he is. And for me, I don't want players like that at my football club anymore. We've had so many of these players that think that they're better than they actually are. I'm done with it, really.
Yeah, he's what I call a glimpser. So he's got skill in abundance and he can show glimpses of it. But you know what? The barometer for me was in Serie A last season, where it's a much slower paced league than the Premier League. Yeah. Most leagues are, but it really is a lot slower. I mean, it's gone on since we used to watch Football Italia on Channel 4 with James Richardson, but he couldn't really get into that team week in, week out. He wasn't trusted.
But don't you find that with Ndombele though? Like, great. I said this earlier as well. And there's got to be a reason why every single manager that's managed this player doesn't fancy him. He came from Lyon. Wasn't fancied under Jose Mourinho. Pochettino was sacked at this point. Jose Mourinho wasn't fancied. Sent back on loan back to Lyon on loan. Wasn't fancied. They didn't want to sign him. Came back to Spurs. Now has gone to Napoli. Didn't fancy him at Napoli. Like, how many more managers under what? Conte, Spalletti, Nuno, Jose, I forgot the Lyon manager's name. But every single manager seems to have the same argument. It can't be all the manager's fault. Maybe the players got to look in the mirror a little bit.
I can answer that question for you. So, I'll give you an analogy, right? I'll put my Postecoglou hat on and come up with a metaphor. So, if you have someone who you hire a copywriter, let's say, right? So, I'm in branding and marketing, and I hire a copywriter, and deep down, that's what I am. I'm a copywriter, someone who writes books and any sort of content, right? And this person handed in their interview an absolute masterpiece. And so you hired them because, wow, this person could write like so few other people that you've ever seen. And you hire them, you give them big bucks. And when it comes to handing in their copy on time, they can't. And when it comes to turning up to work on time, they can't. They're a maverick. They believe they're better than everyone else. They don't have to abide by the rules. They don't have to be in at 9, leave at 5. I see the same parallels with Ndombele. I see a guy who has probably more skill in his right foot than I would say most of the Tottenham Hotspur playing staff combined. But you know what? He can't put the yards in. He doesn't want to run. He gets tired. He feels that he doesn't need to do those things. And he's one of those players, as I say, a glimpser, and you'll normally see him when you play in the park or five-a-side. Oh, just give me the ball. Just give me the ball. Just give me the ball. I'll show you what I can do. It doesn't work like that because we're not in Ndombele FC. You know, it's a team game. And I don't think he's ever had it. And I think that the Lyon owner is still laughing from the fact that we paid what we paid for him.
Yep.
And we have to cut our losses. If I'm wrong, I'll be so happy. You know, I'll be so happy if I'm wrong. And Postecoglou can actually get him to change his drive and dynamism, which is very rare, because what you'll find is that's hardwired to us, to our DNA. It's how we are. You know, you'll normally find people who are driven. And what's weird is that as a professional footballer, how did he not slip through the net? How did he keep getting through? How was he given a professional contract? Did he have it in the past? In which case, if he had it, it means it's somewhere in there.
No, he's a technically gifted player, but I've never seen such a lazy attitude of a player. Like, frustration. He gives a lot of it.
So, mate, we've been going for nearly 50 minutes. Do you want to end it here?
Oh,
or have you got anything else?
I think it's been an absolute pleasure. I think we had a quick talk about, we've just signed Manuel Solomon, which I'm excited to see. Excited to see him.
You think he'll get in the team weekly?
I think he'll have a big part in the team. Postecoglou likes making substitutions, and this lad looks like he's got a bit about him.
Finally, a manager who likes to make subs, right? I mean,
exactly. I think, but we've got a manager there that wants to make substitutions. We've got a player there that showed glimpses of it at Fulham. I think injuries didn't help him whatsoever, but I think we've signed a good player there. I think there's a reason why the likes of Barcelona wanted him. I think we've got a good player there. I think people using the sort of it's a cheap signing as a sort of stick. No, I don't
care.
That's the wrong, sometimes when we say cheap, doesn't mean it's always bad. I think people use that yardstick way too much. I'm excited to see him play. I'm excited for him to do well. I can see him playing well. And listen, it's another player that just another player in that comes with a bit of something, if that makes sense. Just a bit of energy about him. Listen, we'll see. We only have time to see how it will get on, but I think we've got a good player there.
Did we actually pay a fee for him in the end?
He's a free.
It was a complete free.
Yeah, it's a free transfer.
Right, I don't think he's on 300k a week.
He wouldn't
be, right? What, 50, 60? 50, 60 maybe.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at his stats. By the way, if you guys want to see this, it's the first time I've been on this site, so I'm not an expert. So fbref.com.
Right.
And it's really cool as you can compare players as well, which was interesting, by the way, because if you compare Tapsoba with Van der Ven is supposed to be a player who carries out the ball. If you take a look at the carrying out of Tapsoba, he smashes him in touches by 500 touches more. That's interesting. We'll talk about that another time if we ever sign him. But I'm looking at Manor, and I'm bearing in mind that the ending of this show is rivaling the Return of the King, Lord of the Rings trilogy, where we're saying we're going to end it. But if we take a look, so pass completion, not bad, 96 passes completed, so 84.5%. Okay, progressive passes, 3.78. Fair enough, he's a winger. Progressive carries, 2.52 per 90. That's not bad. Mm-hmm. And successful take-ons, 3, so 2.99. So 3 times in a match, he will take on someone. I wonder what Aaron Lennon's stats were for take-ons in a match. I don't know. It'd be nice to have been able to go back, but I can't do that. I did check. Mm-hmm. So I think, he might come in. I think it's going to come in handy. He plays on the left and cuts in, right? Which is a bit weird because I was about to say Postecoglou does like his wingers to be touchline huggers. So, he does like that. So maybe he will play on the right because he is right-footed. But then again, changing your whole playing style, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, we'll see, because I think you've got to remember, like, we've also got Kulusevski does exactly the same thing. So I think we're just going to have to very much wait and see. I think is going to be the key one here with what happens, because what's he going to do with Kulusevski? Maybe him and Solomon play either side. I don't know. But listen, he's not going to be the first starter, but he could be a good impact sub.
Yep. So in other news, we do have as we said at the beginning, we do have a Twitter account. So at Hotspur Way Show, we will have a Threads account. Mate, if you can set that up, that'd be awesome. Yep. We are, I haven't shown you this yet, mate, but we are, my company, I've got the luxury of having staff who can create a probably the best podcast website around. Lovely. We're putting it together now, and it should be ready. Not too sure when. Actually, I won't say when, but we're super happy with some of the things that we've done. One of our designers put together the new logo. I don't know if you noticed that logo change, mate. Yeah. So they put that together. So really looking forward to the website. I'm going to give a few shout outs. So number one, shout out to Perchy, the Perchy on Twitter. You can give your plugs in a minute, but you've got to watch Perchy on YouTube. I think it's great. So yeah, definitely watch you on YouTube. Shout out to Spurs India. So that's at Spurs_India. I did tell him I'd give him a shout out. So there you are. And also shout out to Cyprus Spurs. I'll be in Cyprus. I'm travelling there on Thursday. I'm in Beirut right now, actually. So I'm travelling on Thursday. I'll see the guys. I won't be coming to see you anytime soon. Probably next year. We'll see how things go. But are you like? Is there a Barcelona Spurs?
Yeah, big up the Barcelona Spurs, boys. Much shout out to you, boys.
Yeah, what's
Barcelona Spurs? Barcelona Spurs on Twitter. And obviously the BCN Yidos group chat. Big up to you, boys.
Oh, cool.
Up the group chat. There's a big group of us. We all meet up for drinks and stuff, watch games and stuff.
Where would you? Because I think there's probably a few people now going in August as well. Probably going to Barcelona. Where would they go and watch a game? Let's say Brentford game.
Oh no! Normally we change it about. There's so many different bars that we go to. We don't normally sit down and go to the same one, but we mix it up a bit. whichever one realistically, we just sort of go, oh, we're gonna go here this time. It's so sporadic. No one really makes. No one. There's no order. Is the best way to put it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're gonna meet up for a drink. Yeah, let's go. Which pub? Let's go here, and then we'll just meet there.
How many of you normally go to a game? Let's say the United game, which is the first home game of the season. How many?
Well, normally it's about 5 or 6 of us sort of meet up at the pub. But there's a few of us in the group, so yeah, it's a good group of us there. Some good lads there.
So if anyone's going to Barcelona, they can either reach out to you at the Perchy or Barcelona Spurs. And if you're going to be in Cyprus, I know loads of you from the UK are going to be in Cyprus. If you're going to be in Larnaca, then come down to the meeting pub. The owners there are both of them massive Spurs fans. It's the number one place to watch Spurs in Cyprus. There's quite a lot of us there. And so, yeah, come down. Any plugs, mate? Any upcoming shows you're going to do? Any streams?
Yes, big plug. Friday, 5 p.m. UK to Saturday.
I know about this one. Go on.
My charity stream is going my 24-hour charity stream for the Peace Hospice Trust. Just a sort of just a bit of little story time behind it. My uncle passed away through I can't remember it. Cancer of the esophagus,
right?
And the Peace Hospice were a massive help to that. They helped look after not just him in the sort of last few weeks of his life, but also helped my family massively. So as a bit of a repayment, I'm going to be sitting there by my computer, staring at a camera for 24 hours with a few games, a lot of football talk. Hopefully, we sign some defenders during it because that will be brilliant. We get a load of people on there, and then all revenues from YouTube and my Just Giving page all go obviously into the Just Giving page, and it goes to the charity.
Right, do me a favour then. Send me the link because I'll donate, and then I'll put it on our Twitter as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, let's do that. Yeah, no, definitely, and hopefully we can raise the £2,500, which is the hefty target I've put myself on. So we've got to do it. And listen, and as I said, Friday's gonna be fun. Just come and if you listen to this and you're a bit bored on a Friday, just put it on. Even if you sit it on and you don't want to listen to it, let the ads run because all the ad revenue from all of it goes to the charity, which will be great. So listen, come along, just get involved, subscribe to @the_Perchy TV. We'll be all over there. Listen, I do daily streams, so you can come and listen to me at 12 o'clock UK time every single day. I won't obviously be doing it on Friday for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Cool. And last question from me. Also, by the way, everyone, please, all 100 listeners and hopefully 101 with Donna-Maria Cullen listening, let's all tune in for that. That would be great because I was shocked, by the way. Actually, before I go, there is one other question. So 2 questions. 24 hours straight. Have you ever done this before?
I haven't done the full 24. I know Sav had done it a few times. I helped him. I managed about 9 hours of it. So he did the 24 hour. He completed it before. So, but yeah, big shout out to you, mate, as well. I know if you're listening or not.
Is that?
Yeah, he.
Sava, a fellow Cypriot sounding name, I think.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Football Heritage TV. Plug to him. Big up to you, mate. Yeah. So
I think we should get him on. I think we should get him on the show.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be definitely a very good guest to have on at some point. Yeah, no. But yeah, apart from that. That's the main thing. So the idea is just let's try and raise as much money as possible. That's cool. Basically the plan.
It's for a good cause, so let's do it, guys.
Definitely a massive cause, yeah.
And one last question: what did you think of the intro and outro music of our podcast? Now, this is a difficult question because you might say to me, "Oh shit, James, I've not actually listened to it." In which case, I think we'll end the show here.
Go for it. Go for it.
See,
you didn't play that. You didn't play that because you intentionally didn't do that on purpose. Yeah, I see what you've done there. I see it. Fair play.
So, see you guys in 2 weeks. Maybe we'll have an impromptu show. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And best of luck.